Say, I know you're an hour. I should get a hit as soon as possible. Let's say he has some better idea. Yeah, he'll give us back.
Listen, I'm off date. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a date.
Oh.
Listen, why don't you come first thing in the morning?
Sure, I'll go.
Okay, fine.
Hopefully I'll just, it's not moving.
First and foremost.
It was funny, I don't remember what I was making home and Jeff called me and the Cleveland subdivision said to take the call and it kept directing and I'm like, I was trying to talk to you.
2 stars. I'm trying to keep a low profile. No, I find much better this way. What's that new girl's name, the brunette? I want to talk to her.
Kelly Garrett. Why do you need to talk to her, Eddie?
Before we get a bio and all that, the game.
You know you got a smudge in your jacket there.
Oh, that's anything. I'll take care of it. Kelly Garrett, you say?
Right.
The final score is 21-7. Tonight's victory moves the Blues into a tie for first place in the Western Division. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Drive safely and have a pleasant evening.
We're going to have to talk with her so you take the cab straight home. And I mean straight home.
And I mean straight home. And I mean straight home.
I would think that you would do,
It's like, yes, mommy.
no matter what your mom says.
Well, here we are.
Oh, well, it's not exactly what I mean. I would like to hear about the other times.
Never been any other time. It's true. Oh, I think a lot. And I stare a lot. But Mother just never let me out of her sight. Until tonight.
Oh, well. Say, I think I'm just going to go freshen up just a little bit, if you'll excuse me. I'll be right back.
Eddie, what are you doing here? Your mother saw you leave with this girl. She asked me to follow you.
Come on, Juby Boo Boo. We know you're under the couch.
Well, it looks like I got
The only place you would be.
This creep knows anything about those 2 girls disappearing there. I think he'd be bragging about it by now. Well, if that's what you think, you might as well dump him. And that might be a little difficult. He's awful fast on his feet. You want us to come down with our look-who's-here routine? Thought you'd never on. We're on the way.
Come on, Choo-Choo. Come on. Oh, jeez.
Eddie?
Hi, sweetheart. The Marines are landing.
Where's he?
My mama sent me to save the innocent lad.
Oh, you kidding.
Nonetheless, part of my job is hushing up this kind of sordid mess. Well, why don't you finish your coffee and I'll give you a ride home.
Oh, well, actually, I'm waiting for someone.
Oh, well, then I'll wait with you, okay?
All right. You're sort of a jack of all trades, aren't you?
Have been.
Yeah.
You always been in publicity?
No, this is my first job away from the city. I even had my own column once.
Really?
Yeah, I love newspapers. The feel of them. The smell of them. And the power. Influence. So many people. Get you outside, Miss Mayor.
What's wrong?
Oh, she has Fanny spells. She's all right outside.
Are you sure you can handle it by yourself?
Very sure.
So that's it, Charlie.
Come on,
Chris
do.
seemed sick and then a man helped her out of the restroom.
Bill Asher's son?
No, the waitress said that he left and another man came in. It sounds like an Eddie Cobb.
Hi, baby boy.
I'm afraid this fits with a background check I just received on him. He did work on newspapers with Sam Brand, but he wasn't a sports writer. He wrote a religious column until he had a very severe cracker. Could be having another one.
Well, we got his address out of the phone book. We're on our way to the department now.
But if he's not there, go see Sam Graham at the Times. He's Eddie's best friend. He might know where else.
We're on the way.
Don't die. Please don't die. Are you alright?
Come on, Juju.
Oh, you're alright. You go. Who are you? Beverly. Oh. Beverly Casey? From the Bauhaus? Did Eddie bring me here? And you? The other girls? We're all here to serve the good one. The what?
Put this on. The good one will be back shortly.
Come on, Juju.
Who's that? Margot. Beverly, what kind of place is this? I don't know. He keeps us here. And when he's gone, is she the only one here? I think we can take care of one wicked witch. But that witch is tough. And she's been eating regularly, and we haven't. I don't even know what's been in the food. Don't worry. I've been fed. Pretty fed up with this, too. Please, just don't try anything. If they get angry, they might kill us. All of us. Please, just wear this and do whatever they say until help comes. It's okay. It's okay. Besides,
Sure.
I don't look too good in brown. Come on, it's all right.
Nothing but shirts and socks. Anything there? No, nothing. He could have taken Chris anywhere.
Maybe we ought to go over the Times and see that sports writer. What's his name?
Sam Graham?
Yeah. Did you check this, Bree?
What? Oh, yeah, I looked in the pockets. There's nothing. Hey, wait a minute. That's the same stuff that Eddie had on his jacket suit. He said it was printer's ink. Come on, let's go. Yeah.
This way. Down.
Come on, baby.
You will find the path much smoother without resistance. The only path I want is a path out of here. That is not to be at this time. But if you should try,
succeed in getting away. The good one would take such an act as a sign that the Lord did not approve of his leniency. We would promptly kill the others. Down! Down!
Printer's ink? Now, no reporter nowadays goes anywhere near a printing press.
Look, we really need some help here, Mrs.
Okay,
Reynolds.
your
Yeah, sure, sorry
mask
about Eddie. I thought he was finally over it.
inside your coat pocket.
what?
He had this kid's sister who was crazy. He raised her himself, gave her everything. Then one day she ran away, and Eddie nearly went wild trying to find her. He spent a whole year searching for her in the drug scene and the call girl joints. He finally found her. Jane Doe in the morgue over. Yeah, Eddie really went off the deep end. I mean, he started breaking into drug parties, spouting scripture. He dragged prostitutes away from their tricks, make a meal on the pavement. I was lucky to get him in the hospital before somebody knifed him.
How long ago was that?
About 3 years. I was working at the Chronicle then, and when he was released, I got him a job on the paper. He still wrote the religious column, but nothing wild. I mean, I was sure he was well.
Do you have any idea where he might have taken these girls?
I wish I could think of someplace. But to tell you the truth, Eddie and I haven't seen that much of each other since the Chronicle folded. Even then, all we did mostly was play cards down at the plant.
Oh, what's the plan?
Eddie was broke when he got out of the hospital.
I'm out the bag, buddy boy.
Printing plant the Chronicle had down in Maine.
Wait a minute, wait. Printing plant?
There's your printers, eh?
You may raise your eyes. Tonight we are here to accept another fallen sparrow into the comfort of our nest. And tomorrow there will be another, and more to follow.
Don't be too sure, Eddie. Silence.
She may speak. On this first night she may voice her fears and then be rid of them.
You're the one that should be afraid. Timothy saw you with me. And certainly people saw you take me out of the restaurant.
That doesn't matter now. There's no longer a need to hide my mission here. The Lord will protect me from those who would hinder my work. I shall send forth you and the others as examples of my accomplishments.
Hi, buddy.
Now you must prepare yourself. Her hair offends me.
Cut her hair and she gonna kick your fucking ass, buddy.
Okay, now wait a minute.
Silence!
I gotcha. I got you.
You will bow your head.
I'm not gonna bow my head to you.
Mama
Or
gonna
anybody
take
else
Daddy
that's
to the
crazy.
doctor. Yep, she could take me to get that thing taken out. Right. That's right. When I get back home, it won't be there no more, okay? That damn thing, little boy. You really want the gun, man. It pisses him off. It really offends him. I'll put the back in my 9 yards. Come on, Daddy. Come on, Dad. Come here, DJ. Oh.
Careful there.
All right, buddy.
Take you in there.
Words are not expressible.
got you. Show me. Come on. Eddie? Eddie, I want you to come with us. Now, come on, let's get out of here.
These are house bags.
Please, good one.
I have no idea.
Range purgatory.
Well, thank you, Dr. Delaney. But let me say, Mr. Muller. I say,
Say this. Say dollar. Sure Charlie said he'd call at 5? Well, that was the message.
Oh,
Maybe Charlie's getting thrifty all of a sudden. The rates go down after 5.
Good afternoon, ladies. Please pardon the intrusion, but I have an important business call to make.
On line 1, Bosley. We expect a call from Charlie.
Oh, don't worry. Charlie's intelligent enough to call back later if the line is busy.
Bosley.
Oh, hello. This is Mr. John Bosley. I am the new consultant with the Bill Asher Talent Agency. Bill asked me to call you and close the deal on the Tahitian cruise. As I understand it, you wanted 3 beautiful girls for 1 week at $1,000 each. Oh, no, of course not. There's no trouble at all. As a matter of fact, I do have the 3 girls, and as a matter of fact, they've all signed their own contracts, and they're on their way back to you. Oh, no, I didn't realize that. You really wanted 6 girls. Well, no, I don't know about that. I mean, to find 3 more girls who could be ready to sail on such short notice. Look, I do happen to have 3 ladies in the office just at this very moment. Look, why don't I put them on and let them talk to you themselves?
Hello. My name is Sabrina, and my 2 friends and I just happened to drop by our agent, Mr. Bosley's office, and it's just a wonderful coincidence because we certainly do love to travel. Well, my friend is absolutely right. My name is Kelly, and I especially love that warm tropical climate. Oh, I'm Chris, and I love all kinds of climates, so I'll go anywhere.
I'm Charlie. I love all 3 of them. Relax, angels. You've earned this vacation trip as a bonus. So, pack your sarongs and bon voyage.
The atmosphere is enormous. And we'll be chucked in today.
Close it down, still got a man wide open.
you're behind me when I find this post right there.
It's not from there.
I didn't say anything. How do you want it there? I did not do it. Maybe so I'll just put them up there.
Once upon a time, there were 3 little girls who went to the police academy. 2 in Los Angeles.
I got it. Next.
This week, I'm talking to Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Is that part of your superpower? Just be tougher.
Just get it done, baby.
And to Dina Menza, I want to spend some time talking about Let It Go.
Who's talking to the Networks? Sunday night at 7. See you there. Introducing the new Sleep Number Climate 360 Smart Bed, the only smart bed in the world that actively cools, warms, and effortlessly responds to both of you. Our smart sleepers get 28 minutes more restful sleep per night. Proven quality sleep only from Sleep Number.
My name is Joshua Florence, and one thing I learned being a firefighter is plan ahead. You don't know what you're getting into, but at the end of the day, you know you have a team behind you that can help you. Not having to worry about the future makes it possible to make the present as best as it can be for everybody.
For me to put on. You said no. I can't put them on now.
I'd like to thank our sponsor, Liberty
When I'm
Mutual.
done with this bag, I want some little pants on.
Pay for what you need. Contestants ready? Go! Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is what it feels like to file with tax
Earlier, you said yeah.
Nope, not today. Save up to 8% when you file a tax letter. Start for free. Every day can be extraordinary with rich, creamy, delicious Fage total yogurt.
There's always a fresh deal on the Subway app. Like this one. 50% off? That deal is so good, we don't even need an 8-pound. I was trying to tell you about it.
Wait, what?
Get it before it's gone on the Subway app.
Hi, I'm Michael. I've lost 62 pounds on GOLO, and I've kept it off. Most of the weight I gained was strictly in my belly, which is a sign of insulin resistance. But since GOLO, that weight has completely gone away, as you can tell. Thanks to GOLO and Release, I've got my life and my health back.
If your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms are stopping you in your tracks, choose Stelara from the start and move toward relief after the first dose. With injections every 2 months.
Stelara may increase your risk of infections, some serious, and cancer. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've had an infection, flu-like symptoms, sore, smooth skin growths, have had cancer, or if you need a vaccine. PRES, a rare potentially fatal brain condition, may be possible. Some serious allergic reactions and lung inflammation can occur.
Feel unstoppable. Ask your doctor how lasting remission can start with Stelara. Janssen can help you explore cost support options.
When you find that perfect pair, nothing can stop you shine. Because when you feel fly, you look fly.
Jamie, I'm pretty sure that was my line. Get 2 pairs of Purveyor Revoke plus a free exam for $89.95. Book your exam online today.
Relapsing MS isn't the only thing I have going on. That's why my doctor and I chose Kesimpta. Kesimpta is different. It's the only B-cell treatment for RMS I can take at home, once a month. Kesimpta was proven superior at reducing the rate of relapses, active lesions, and slowing disability progression versus Aubagio. For me, a once-monthly treatment just works for my schedule.
Don't take Kesimpta if you have hepatitis B, and tell your doctor if you have had it, as it could come back. Kesimpta can cause serious side effects, including infections. While no cases of PML were reported in RMS clinical trials, it could happen. Tell your doctor if you had or plan to have vaccines, or if you are or plan to become pregnant. Kesimpta may cause a decrease in some types of antibodies. Most common side effects are upper respiratory tract infection, headache, and injection reactions.
When I'm ready, I spend less than 1 minute a month taking Kesimpta. How I spend the rest of my time is up to me.
Ask your doctor about treating RMS with Kesimpta.
Closed captioning brought to you by InfetHealth. Call 1-800-710-0020.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp today. They can help you get started with your idea.
Call now. 800-710-0020.
Congressman George Santos' list of lies growing even longer this week, and his constituents are taking notice. CNN's Miguel Marquez caught up with voters in Nassau County, New York, about how they feel about their new representative.
Would you like Speaker McCarthy and the Republican leadership to freeze him out, to ask him to resign? I mean, does something more need to happen from that level?
Yes, I think they should get rid of him.
What would you like to see now? Would you like to see him leave office? What would you like to see?
Well, I guess he has to leave office because of everything that he pretended that he was, when he wasn't. However, I'm kind of like up in the air. I didn't donate any money, so I don't have that up against me.
You didn't donate any money. But I wanted Trump to figure he was going to do what he wanted, but I wanted him to do it. Seeing how, and it's also because he's a Republican, and that's the way I was voting.
Washington, New York, Schreiber High School in Long Island's Nassau County is in the heart of Representative George Santos' 3rd Congressional District.
I think he's an embarrassing pathological liar.
We sit down with a group of 18 U.S. history students at Schreiber High. They are 16 and 17, which means they will all be old enough to vote in 2024. How many of you would register as a Democrat? How many of you would register as a Democrat? How many of you would register as a Republican? Their history teacher estimates Republican-leaning students are outnumbered by Democratic-leaning students by an almost 2-to-1 margin at the school. But I haven't found one kid who is sympathetic to George Santos. They know the importance of the numbers in the House of Representatives, and although Santos represents them for issues that they agree on, they don't have sympathy for that. 16-year-old Tej Parek is one of the future Democrats.
I think it's a very scary situation for us, having someone who is so clearly lied and so clearly fabricated his entire resume, representing all of us.
16-year-old Nathan Jackman is one of the future Republicans.
I like how the Nassau GOP came out against him, but obviously Kevin McCarthy should come out against him, and they should have a vote on the House floor in order to expel him from Congress.
We asked the teacher if we could watch a class discussion about Santos.
It definitely places some mistrust on your political party.
These are junior AP students.
First of all, what is your initial reaction to knowing that your representative's integrity has been called into question? Romero?
It's kind of shocking because how could you trust them? How could you lie about this?
Right there,
how can you trust them to do this?
How are his lies perhaps different than others, or is it fair game to lie in politics?
I think one of the worst things that he lied about, in my opinion, is lying about the origin of his family, being that they were from, they were survivors of the Holocaust. Well, I think that it's an obvious choice, given that we live in a community where there's lots of Jewish people. We live in New York, that's where 9/11 happened. He's using things directly correlated to our lives to make himself sound better because we have emotional attachment to these events.
Especially in politics, like, your reputation's always going to stick with you. Everyone's going to remember him as, oh, he's the guy that lied about everything and still got into Congress.
Has it gotten to a point in politics where we don't really care about integrity?
Well, you think about it with, because we'll be applying to colleges soon. If a college found out that we lied about everything on our application, they would immediately kick us out, but he lied about everything, and he's going to say it, so it's like we're being held to a higher standard of integrity than politicians in this country.
Before we leave Schreiber High, we ask our panel of students this question. You're a constituent of Congressman Santos. If you could say one thing to him, what would you say to him?
I just want to know why he felt the need to do all this.
What would you say to him?
If you really want to represent our district and you care about the voters and the people, you should resign.
What would you say?
Resign to keep democracy working properly.
Apologize and resign now. It's enough.
For the good of the constituents of New York's 3rd, resign.
You?
For your district and for your party, resign.
You?
Step down.
Gary Tuchman, CNN, Port Washington, New York.
Smart kids.
Yeah.
I feel a lot of optimism when I hear from that generation. They're really sharp and plugged in.
If he didn't attend those schools or work at these companies, where did he go? What did he do?
Don't know.
So many questions. All right, the Bills, the Bengals. Bengals. I've been calling them the Bengals.
The Bengals. I do like the Bengals.
Don't do
I mean,
this.
they have great music.
Don't do that. They're going to face off again this weekend, just weeks after DeMar Hamlin went into cardiac arrest on the field. How Hamlin is doing and how the teams are preparing. That's next.
Will remain radioactive for years to come. Well, thank goodness, it's time for the good news of the week.
And boy, do we need it. Well, this safe driver saved money with the Snapshot app from Progressive. How do you feel?
Good.
He's better than good. He got rewarded for driving safe and driving less.
Sorry, Barb, just to confirm, this is the feel-good news of the week?
This is what we found. Yay, Snapshot.
One Prilosec OTC each morning blocks heartburn all day and all night. Prilosec OTC reduces excess acid for 24 hours, blocking heartburn before it starts. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn.
With Fidelity Income Planning, a dedicated advisor can help you grow and protect your wealth. They'll help you create a flexible strategy designed to balance growth and guaranteed income, so you can enjoy the life you've created. That's the planning effect from Fidelity.
Back when I had a working circulatory system, you had to give your right arm to find great talent. But with Upwork, there's highly skilled talent from all over the globe, right at your fingertips. It's where businesses meet great remote talent, and remote talent meets great opportunity.
That is how we work now.
I'm Apple. I want to thank you because I have a cancerous tumor.
These kids, they don't deserve to have to go through this. My beautiful little redheaded girl has cancer. You don't know what's going to happen.
Please call or go online and become a St. Jude Partner in Hope for only $19 a month.
I think it's the most worthwhile place to put your money when it comes to childhood cancer.
Hi, my name's Steve. I lost 138 pounds on Golo, and I kept it off. So with other diets, you just feel like you're muscling your way through it. The reason why I like Golo is plain and simple, it was easy. I didn't have to grit my teeth and do a diet. Golo is a lifestyle change, and you make the change, and it stays on. Golo has changed my life in so many ways. I sleep better. I eat better. Took my shirt off for the first time in 25 years. It's Golo. It's all Golo. It's smarter. It's better. It will change your life forever.
Next on Behind the Series.
The balls upended the whole roster.
Here's this young sub from Jersey, brimming with confidence and meatballs.
It had a lot of attitude for a rookie and a lot of pepperoni.
The Subway Series, the greatest menu of all time.
To be a therapist, in my opinion, is one of the most humbling things ever.
A platform like BetterHelp is very important because it allows access to affordable mental health care.
I'm sure you heard the good news. Friday nights just got hotter with Friday Night Vibes on CBS.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
It's a night for the culture. About the culture. Friday Night Vibes tonight at 8 on CBS.
Hi, Grandma. I played baseball today.
Oh, that's great.
What position did you play?
First base. That's where Grandpa used to play. When our hearing wouldn't allow us to use a regular phone, it made us feel isolated.
It became difficult to communicate with our friends and family.
Clear Captions was an easy solution for us.
Clear Captions provides captions on a phone like captioning on your TV, so you can see what the caller is saying live as they say it.
Making it easy to understand and respond immediately.
There is no insurance or Medicare required. Clear Caption service is provided at no cost to you through a federally funded program. We deliver, install, and train you on how to use your phone, all at no cost to you.
Give your loved ones the independence and connection they deserve.
Call now to see if you qualify to get a Clear Captions phone at no cost to you. Call 1-800-643-9435. That's 1-800-643-9435.
CNN This Morning, Monday at 6 Eastern.
Millions of T-Mobile customers have been hacked, and the company says that personal data was stolen, including emails and phone numbers and T-Mobile account numbers.
Vanessa Yurkevich is CNN's business and politics correspondent. So, Vanessa, when does T-Mobile say this happened?
This happened in November. The company says they just found out about it in early January. They're just letting customers know now. 37 million customers affected. And what was stolen was people's names, billing addresses, phone numbers, date of birth, emails. What was not stolen was social security numbers, credit card information, passwords, and PINs. But the concern is that of the information that was stolen, that could help folks access the more sensitive information. T-Mobile saying that they are working with law enforcement now. They have hired an outside security company trying to figure out what went wrong. But they were hacked in November of 2021 also. 54 million people impacted. So they're saying now that they're going to make an investment in their cybersecurity, obviously, to prevent this from happening again.
Okay, let's hope it does not happen again. Let's turn to Google now, making some big cuts. Why are they saying they're doing this?
They're the latest in a string of big tech companies who are laying folks off. They are saying that they hired during a time when it was a very different economic landscape. They say things have changed today, that folks are not spending as much online, not accessing technology as much. But they joined the list of Amazon, Meta, as well as Microsoft, who just announced yesterday they were laying off 10,000 people. One analyst put it to me this way, that these tech companies were hiring like 1980s rock stars. The Cinderella ride is about to be over, but it's important to note that tech represents 2% of the employment in the U.S. Something like hospitality and leisure represents 11%. And we know a lot of hotels, restaurants are still having trouble hiring. They're not laying people off. So tech, while an important part of the labor market, doesn't paint the whole picture for us.
Here's one job opening that sounds pretty good.
Really good.
So Netflix has posted a job opening for a private flight attendant. This was Victor's favorite story this morning on our call.
I had to read it twice.
Yes, because apparently the salary range is interesting.
Quite large, but I mean, are you guys comfortable carrying 30 pounds of luggage, and do you guys have good customer service?
For that salary,
all right, so you're out. You also need, obviously, FAA training. You need to be able to travel at a moment's notice, but this is a position, their lead flight attendant on Netflix's private jet. That salary range is $60,000 to $385,000. The average flight attendant gets paid about $61,000. So I would obviously love to know what gets you.
What are you doing
$300,000
$385,000? I'm wondering.
I mean,
we don't want to know.
They have to. California has a law where you have to give a reasonable salary range. Questionable if that's reasonable or not. But hey, the job is still up. People are into it. You know, you just need some specific training, obviously, if you're going to be a flight attendant on a plane.
Yeah, that's the hit. Vanessa Yurkevich, thanks so much.
Thank you.
You probably noticed egg prices are soaring, and that's prompting some families to raise their own chickens, which is not cheap.
I got a break.
Okay, we'll play later.
We all have a purpose in life, a why. Maybe it's perfecting that special place that you want to keep in the family, or passing down the family business, or giving back to the places that inspire you. No matter your purpose, at PNC Private Bank, we will work with you every step of the way to help you achieve it. So let us focus on the how. Just tell us, what's your why?
Introducing the new Sleep Number Climate 360 smart bed, the only smart bed in the world that actively cools, warms, and effortlessly responds to both of you. Our smart sleepers get 28 minutes more restful sleep per night. Proven quality sleep only from Sleep Number.
People remember ads with a catchy song. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's a little number you'll never forget.
Customize and save.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Take a pea-sized amount. That's it. I rub my fingertips together like this. Apply it like a lotion. Fingertips, pits, underboob, thigh folds, butt cracks, feet. About 98% of our customers use our cream deodorant on places other than pits. This water-based cream, I'm telling you, it rubs in like a lotion. It's invisible on the skin. It works like a dream. Why didn't someone think of this sooner?
Every day can be extraordinary with rich, creamy, delicious Fage total yogurt.
I've always been prone to hair thinning.
I was getting older.
I was under a lot of stress.
I started taking Nutrafol.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement.
I am back to me.
Start your hair growth journey at Nutrafol.com.
Next on Behind the Series.
That run with the champ was magical. I mean, the tender chicken, the peppercorn ranch. I love my rings. I'll cherish that lunch forever.
The Subway Series, the greatest menu of all time. When you really need to sleep, you reach for the really good stuff. ZzzQuil Ultra helps you sleep better and longer when you need it most. It's non-habit forming and powered by the makers of NyQuil. ZzzQuil Ultra, when you really, really need to sleep.
This is what it feels like to file with TaxSlayer. Confident you'll get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
The George brothers did not start the opioid crisis, but they sure poured gasoline on the fire.
Let's talk about growing up in Florida. Anything to do with money hurts Chris and Jeff's interest. The big money is at the pay cards.
There's a line all the way down the street.
This was just batch crazy. Wire. These people buried themselves.
Only in America. American Pain, Sunday, February 5th at 9 on CNN.
The atmosphere is enormous. And it is hot. And will be checked in today. Throws it downfield, got a man wide open.
I am offering a chance to help bring down the single greatest threat to New Orleans.
I can't do this. There are memories that I just can't bear.
Am I giving you the impression that any of this is optional?
What are you not telling me?
Stay away from my family.
Get him. That's not how this is going to play out. The Lead with Jake Tapper. Next on CNN.
The highly anticipated rematch between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Buffalo Bills is happening this Sunday, more than 2 weeks after Damar Hamlin's collapse on the field from cardiac arrest. Both teams will face off in the AFC playoffs in Buffalo.
Hamlin is out of the hospital, but still faces a lengthy recovery. CNN sports anchor and former Buffalo Bills player Coy Wire is outside the Bills Stadium. Do you know if we'll see Hamlin at the game this weekend?
It is a possibility, Victor. Coach says he doesn't yet know, but we are being reminded through this latest reporting that how scary and nearly fatal Damar Hamlin's injury was, right? His business representative, Jordan Rooney, told me earlier this morning that Damar still requires oxygen. He gets winded easily. His heart is monitored regularly, and he has that lengthy recovery ahead, as you mentioned. But he also says that Damar remains positive. He's ready to overcome this, and his teammates, they're a bit more settled now. They're more comforted knowing that Damar has been back in that building with them.
It's been good to see him, a smile on his face, and guys love having him back in the building.
It's been a welcome sight to see Damar Hamlin back at the Bills facilities on a daily basis this week.
To see 3 just smile and just wave and just, put his hearts up and keep it pushing, it's a positive energy bubble that's just floating around the facility.
It's been just over 2 weeks since he suffered cardiac arrest on the field in Cincinnati.
I don't like how he went down. I really need everybody. All call.
The NFL ultimately canceled that game, but this Sunday, the Bills and Bengals will face each other for the first time since that horrific scene, and there's no question it'll be on the players' minds.
Just something that I can't unsee. Every time I close my eyes, it replays.
That tragic moment, though, has also brought out the best in humanity. Fans have donated millions to Hamlin's charity, and others are using the moment to help raise awareness for heart health.
Go donate blood. Go get CPR certified. Whatever you can do, just do one thing that can make a small difference in one person's life, and that's all we ask.
A groundswell of support around heart health awareness around Damar Hamlin, of course, is pretty sweet. Allison and Victor. The players say, though, that they have to lock in for this huge playoff game now. They have to manage those lingering emotions, those invaders of the mind from the last time they played against each other. This one will kick off Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I will be extremely biased as I cheer for my Bills in this one. Hopefully get a win.
A lot of people will be watching. Coy Wire, thank you for that.
Thank you, Coy.
All right, now to this. Is there anything more annoying than slow drivers driving in the left lane on the highway?
I'm uncomfortable in my seat thinking about how much that annoys me.
It annoys me too.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, well, now South Carolina will fine you $100 for going too slow in the left lane.
So it's called the Slowpoke Bill. It was first passed in 2021 and requires left lane drivers to move over if a car comes up behind them and the right lane is clear. The state troopers have already written nearly 500 tickets. Now, this is not a criminal penalty. It does not go on the driving record.
This is how you know if you're going too slow in the left lane. If all sorts of cars are whizzing by you on the right and flashing a middle finger. That's how
that's a good sign
that you're going too slow.
Or if I am laying on that horn. I lay on that horn.
That was you?
Yes.
That I heard behind me.
Yes. If you're driving too slowly, and you know what? If you're behind someone who's driving too slowly, and I'm talking like egregiously, maybe 40 miles an hour, 45, let them know.
By the way, the left lane is for passing, not parking.
Yes.
Passing.
Yes.
So here's Jake Tapper. Starts right now.
Ukraine wants tanks. NATO countries have tanks, but they insist it's not that simple. The lead starts right now. No deal, the failed talks as the U.S. tries to push Germany to give some Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine while holding back the American-made Abrams model. What's the difference, and can Ukraine get some tanks before Russia ramps up its war in the spring? Plus, a new investigation opened in New Mexico into a Republican candidate's campaign possibly being laced with money from fentanyl sales, just days after his arrest, accused of plotting to shoot the homes of his Democratic rivals. And Julia Roberts made her a household name. Coming up, the real Erin Brockovich is here on a mission to help military families. Welcome to the Lead. I'm Jake Tapper, and we start today with our world lead in what appears to be a standoff between the United States and Germany when it comes to giving more heavy weapons to Ukraine. More than 50 countries and organizations met at Ramstein Air Base in Germany earlier today. It's a group known as the Ukraine Defense Contact Group. It's led by America's top military leaders, but the group failed to come to an agreement on one of Ukraine's most pressing requests, whether Germany will send some of its Leopard 2 tanks to Ukrainian forces. These tanks are seen as a crucial modern weapon. There are nearly 2,000 of them spread across Europe right now. 2,000. Allies such as Poland have them and are willing to send some of them to Ukraine. But export laws require Poland to get permission from Germany where the tanks were made. Permission that has not yet come from the German government. Now, Germany did announce today an aid package for Ukraine worth more than $1 billion, but as CNN's Alex Marquardt reports for us right now, despite that generous offer, thanks, but no tanks.
Time remains a Russian weapon. We have to speed up.
A desperate plea today from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to defense officials from the U.S. and allied countries meeting in Germany to discuss further lethal aid for Ukraine.
Based upon the progress that we've made today, I'm confident that Ukraine's partners from around the globe are determined to meet this moment.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin hosting the meeting on the heels of the U.S. announcing a new massive $2.5 billion aid package. But no progress in breaking a critical logjam, convincing a reluctant Germany to allow transfers of its coveted Leopard 2 tanks.
We're not really hesitating. We are just very carefully and balancing all the pros and cons.
Germany has said it doesn't want to be alone, but the United Kingdom has committed to sending their tanks. Other European countries are also eagerly awaiting German permission to send Leopards that they hold.
They've not made a decision on the provision of the Leopard tanks. What we're really focused on is making sure that Ukraine has the capability that it needs to be successful right now.
Germany and the U.S. are now denying that Germany is requiring American M1 Abrams tanks be sent alongside German tanks. U.S. officials have been arguing for the Leopard, saying the Abrams makes little sense for Ukraine. It's a gas-guzzling beast that is complex to operate and difficult to maintain.
This is a tank that requires jet fuel, whereas the Leopard and the Challenger, it's a different engine. They require diesel. It's a little bit easier to maintain. They can maneuver across large portions of territory before they need to refuel.
While Germany's Leopard 2 is a modern heavy tank with a large number already in Europe, and easier to support and be trained on, with an ability to accurately hit moving targets with its night vision and laser rangefinders. Secretary Austin emphasized a window of opportunity before Russia begins a counteroffensive. The main current fighting in Ukraine has been around the city of Bakhmut, where Ukrainian forces have been battling Russia's Wagner mercenary group. Power has grown. Today, the U.S. designated Wagner a transnational criminal organization.
It will open up additional avenues for us to continue to not only sanction Wagner and put more squeeze on their ability to do business around the world, but will assist others in doing the same.
The White House also released new satellite imagery showing Russian rail cars heading into North Korea, then being filled up and sent back with rockets and missiles destined for use by Wagner.
Now, the White House believes that Wagner will continue to receive weapons from North Korea, and next week the group, as well as its support network, according to the White House, will be hit with more U.S. sanctions. Now, Wagner has been recruiting huge numbers of fighters from Russian prisons, Jake, sending them to the front to die as cannon fodder. The U.S. believes that of the 50,000 Wagner mercenaries that are currently in Ukraine, 80% of them were recruited from prisons under convicts.
It says a lot. Alex Marquardt, thanks so much. While the Ukrainian military waits to see how the diplomatic tank standoff plays out, its forces are forging ahead, fighting Putin's army with the equipment and battle capabilities that they have right now. CNN's Fred Pleitgen was north of Kyiv today and witnessed Ukrainian troops preparing for a possible large-scale Russian invasion.
Preparing to defend against a second gigantic attack, even as they're already under assault by Russia. Ukrainian units held large-scale drills to prepare for bigger battles to come. The head of Ukraine's Joint Forces Command tells me. We need to know what exactly to prepare the forces for and how they should be prepared, he says. That's why this is so important. We're in the Chernobyl exclusion zone, site of the worst nuclear disaster in history. Ukraine's special forces also practicing urban combat in the abandoned buildings. The U.S. and its allies believe the Russians could mount a massive offensive once the spring comes. That's why the Ukrainians are getting their forces ready, even as they're already fighting the Russians on several fronts in this country. The Ukrainians say that to win, they need more modern Western weapons, especially main battle tanks. In terms of quality, of course, there's a big difference, the general says, because the fire control systems of Western equipment are far superior to Russian weapons. As the battles in places like Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine remain brutal and casualties mount, Ukraine's leadership says it's grateful for the massive military aid announced at the Ramstein meeting. But Kiev is disappointed Germany still hasn't signed off on sending Leopard 2 main battle tanks, which would be key to help them turn the tide, the top presidential advisor tells me. Our guys won't leave the battlefield even if they aren't provided with new equipment, he says, but more of them will die. This must stop. We want our people to have a better chance of saving their own lives. The Ukrainians say the new aid announced Friday will go a long way to help them beat Russia back, and Mikhailo Podolyak says he hopes the U.S. and its allies will keep weapons flowing in the long run. I think our allies have a perfect understanding of the price we're paying, he says, that it's very important for Russia to lose. They understand the nature of this war, the nature of Russia, and why it is impossible to negotiate with them. The Ukrainians say they need to grasp the initiative before the Russians can recover from their losses, and they're gearing up for what could be a brutal spring. But Jake, the Ukrainians also say there is a whole other facet to this as well. They say they're having increasing problems getting spare parts for their Soviet-era tanks and ammunition as well. So on the one hand, those modern Western tanks would be for better capabilities, but it's also about staying in the fight, especially as that Russian offensive looms, Jake.
All right, Fred Plankin in Kyiv, Ukraine, thanks so much. Let's talk about this with William Cohen, former Republican senator from Maine and defense secretary in the Clinton administration. Secretary Cohen, thanks so much for joining us. Let's start with the tank standoff. Germany's defense minister says there are both good and bad reasons for giving Ukraine the Leopard 2 tanks that they're desperately asking for. Why do you think Germany is so hesitant here?
Well, I think part of it is political and certainly emotional on the part of the Germans. We don't give Germany enough credit for what they've been doing and the amount they're contributing to both in material and equipment and now money. So I think anyone who's trying to divide Germany and separate them out as being not a good ally, they're wrong. Germany is a great ally. The problem is they've got a history. And they have another issue, not only their history, but I don't think they want to be seen as being the country that's triggering any kind of escalation. And if there's going to be an escalation, they want all of us to be involved in that. And so I don't think it's unreasonable for them to say, we'll put our best main battle tank there, but we want you to have yours there as well. Even though the capabilities are quite different, even though it doesn't necessarily translate into more effectiveness, symbolically it's really important. I hope that they're able to work this out. Secretary of Defense Austin has said we're still working it, and I hope that we do it quickly because time is of the essence. But I would say whatever it takes to get the Leopards there, if it takes some Abrams to go, I would say do it.
So if you were Secretary of Defense right now, you would say send 2 or 3 Abrams tanks over there if that's what the Germans need as cover, even if they really need a lot. It sounds like the Ukrainians are saying we need dozens, if not hundreds, of the Leopard 2, which are more agile than the Abrams.
They're more agile. They're more modern. They use a fuel which is easily obtained. They need the fuel from the Abrams. Basically jet fuel they have to have. You have a whole supply chain problem with the Abrams. But I would say under the circumstances, what they need are tanks, and we can help get the Germans to say it's okay if you're in it, we're in it. I think the most important thing is saving Ukraine from Russian extermination as such. What the Russians are doing, they are engaged not only in what they call denazification, depopulation of Ukraine. They are annihilating the people of Ukraine. So anything we can do to prevent more of that slaughter from taking place, we ought to do it. And if the question if we're providing something that's not that combat effective under the circumstances, let's do it anyway so we can get the Germans to satisfy their local political problems, which are real, and we ought to address them.
If Ukraine does not get these tanks and the other heavy weaponry that they're requesting, like long-range missiles, how do you see their fight against the Russians going forward in the next few months, especially if there's a spring offensive?
Well, it's a war of attrition at this particular point, and what the Russians are doing, are trying to just destroy the will, obviously, but the means of survival in terms of heat, electricity, water, food, energy, etc. So what they're trying to do is wear down the Ukrainians. And if it's a war of attrition, then we have to give whatever the Ukrainians need to take the battle against the Russians and to defeat them on the ground. And the notion that the Russians are saying, well, if we lose on the ground on a conventional basis, we may use nuclear weapons. Well, they've said that before, and that's something we have to be concerned about. But you can't have Russia wrap itself in a nuclear jacket and threaten to blow itself up in the rest of the world. That's simply not going to happen, in my opinion. But we can't have the world standing by, terrified that they're putting on this vest and saying we're going to blow not only Ukraine up, but much of the world.
Well, that's just it. The Russian Minister of Foreign Affairs issued the warning about the increased supply of weapons to the West, saying, quote, "We regard all this as an open, provocative incitement by the West and an increase in the stakes in the conflict, which will inevitably lead to an increase in casualties and a dangerous escalation." Do you think there's an actual red line here for Russia? Because they've been saying that sort of thing from the very beginning, and every time the U.S. or the West gets incrementally involved, every time they say, well, that's the line, that's the line. But do you think there's an actual line?
There may be, and we can't not take that into account. But if we're going to allow the Russians to say, if we don't win, the world loses. And that's what they're saying to us and to the rest of Western democracies and much of the world. There are 54 countries in Ramstein right now. That's more than NATO. That's a lot more than NATO. The world is now looking at this in terms of the Russians have engaged in an act, a war crime by invading a neutral country. And now they're saying if we don't take possession of our, quote, little beauty, then we're going to blow the world up. We can't accept that, and we have to tell the Russians there'll be a terrible penalty that you will pay the day you ever think about using a nuclear weapon in this battle or any other. But we can't afford to have an extortion being waged against the United States, saying either you let us win, allow all of these Ukrainians to be slaughtered day after day, or else we might blow our nuclear button out and destroy much of Europe and much of whether India, China, all of the Middle East. There's no end to it once you start down the nuclear path. So I think we have to tell them, get out of Ukraine. You violated the law. You are causing world economic problems, and you're putting us on a path of open conflict with the rest of the world. Now's the time to settle this, and that would be get out of Ukraine. And I think we have to give the Ukrainians what they need to defeat the Russians on the ground and do it as quickly as we can. Because the longer this goes on, the longer there's a war of attrition, Ukrainians end up on the losing side of that.
Yeah. Former Secretary of Defense William Cohen, thank you so much for your time, sir. Appreciate it. Right now in Washington, crowds are filling the streets in the first March for Life since Roe v. Wade was overturned. Anti-abortion activists say they're preparing for a, quote, absolutely crazy year. What are they preparing for? But first, the questions about money in a Republican candidate's House legislation campaign, the State House, prompting a new investigation just days after his arrest. Stay with us.
At Ring, we've reinvented the doorbell, so no matter where you are, you can see, hear, and speak with whoever's at your door.
Hello?
Check out the Ring Video Doorbell. Learn more at ring.com.
This tax season, we all have a lot going on. So you can't miss. Luckily, TaxAct has the free expert help you need, so you can get back to the things that matter most. File for less and get more with TaxAct. You see Marvel Studios' Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania only in theaters.
Be thankful for the moments, like a radiant color palette, the hypnotizing swirl of a recipe coming together. All that's left is to savor.
Go to HelloFresh.com/TV22 for up to 22 free meals plus 3 free gifts.
If you're anything like me, you love spending time scrolling through your feed. Well, check out this blast from the past. Oh, what's this? The Sofia Vergara collection at America's Best? Wow, amazing styles and unbelievable prices? Now that's quite the duo. Get 2 pairs of Sofia Vergara frames plus a free exam for $89.95 for a limited time at America's Best. Book an exam online at americasbest.com. Speaking of duos, I hope she checks her mentions. Almost done. And post.
And to support my family's immune health, I choose Airborne. Unlike some others, Airborne gives you vitamin C and so much more. It's an 8-in-1 immune support formula. Airborne, do more.
See, son, with a little elbow grease, you can do just about anything.
Thanks, Dad.
That's right, Robert. And it's never too early to learn you could save with America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
That's right, Jamie. But it's not just about savings. It's about the friends we make along the way.
You said it, Chloe. And don't forget to floss before you brush. Your gums will thank you.
That's right, Dr. Geary.
Jamie?
Sorry, I had another thought, so I got back in line.
What was it?
Can't remember.
Did you know you could save with GoodRx, even if you have insurance?
I'm on Medicare. I check GoodRx because it can beat my copay. Even like that.
Even if you have insurance, GoodRx can help you save. Another good reason to check GoodRx.
ADT systems now feature Google products like the Nest Cam.